Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. After my short break away celebrating my wife's 60th birthday and our 25th anniversary. We had a great time. That little bit of footage there was from Helmsley Walled Garden and Helmsley, the village itself in North Yorkshire. Beautiful part of the country, and if you've not visited it, then I really do recommend that you do. But I'm glad to be back, glad to see that the seedlings did well. So I'm grateful to Martin, Graham and Mick, who, a team effort, looked after everything for me. I've come back to loads of work, got lots to do, lots of things to pot on. The dill needs potting on, I've got cabbages here to pot on. My favourite fennel has come through, so that needs potting on. Loads and loads of things to do, but it's so surprising. You go away for just a couple of days and things come on tremendously. Here's the teddy bear sunflowers that Ali got me from the Rusty Garden. They're doing really well. The sweet corn have made an appearance. It's not the best germination that I've had, but it's certainly improved from the last week when I was here. Even the nasturtiums are starting to shoot through. So, and the lupins. So I might have to go away a little bit more often and maybe the plants will kick on from there. Anyway, there are certain things now that need to go out onto the area. Not everything, but certain things will withstand the sort of like any sort of risk of frost now. So I'm going to start slowly planting things out. Whilst I was away, I bought a few things. Bought myself a new journal that I'm going to use to keep a record of everything that I've got. I've got an old one, but it's looking a little bit tatty. I got a sign. I'm going to put it on the gate. So listen, if you're easily offended, look away now. But this is going to go on the gate. Bit of a laugh. There we go. So, people know my sense of humour, so they won't take it serious. So yeah, and I also bought myself, the one thing that I did miss was my shallots. So I bought myself some shallots and I'm going to get those in one of the beds out there now. So why don't you come outside, because it's getting a little bit warm in here, and join me. As I mentioned, my old journal is looking a bit tatty now. It got wet, so it's all swollen and bowed. So I'll be using the new one after this season. So I'm just looking on the plan here that I had, the ever-changing plan, and it seems that I should have planted parsnips in this bed and that bed, but I've not. I've planted them in that bed and this. So it means that my shallots are going to go in this bed here. So let's get this bed prepped and get them in. Right, let's get these little bits of weed out. Oh, what's that? There we go. That's a walnut from the walnut tree behind the camera on Mick's plot. The squirrels come round and pick them up and bury them and hide them. So, got a glass there. So yeah, went to a garden centre down there and just browsing around because we were looking for a new wisteria which we were going to plant to mark our 25th anniversary, because we lost one that used to grow up the side of the bar at home. It was beautiful and really well established, and it was my own stupid fault. When I paved the bottom of the garden, I paved up and around the bed, and what was happening was the water was spilling off the bar roof and just going down in and collecting in the sort of planting area of the wisteria, and wisteria don't like wet roots, or soaking roots certainly, and we lost it. It would have been absolutely beautiful now. So whilst I was there looking for a wisteria, I realised that I've not bought any shallots. Now normally I bring these on in modular trays, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sow these, plant these directly in and see if there's any difference. So how many have I got? I'm going to split that one, because there ain't too many here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right, let's see. So I'm just going to simply put these in neat little rows. I don't have to necessarily fill the bed, just part fill it. There's one row there. There we go. I've not caught up on any videos. Literally came back yesterday. Obviously all the kids came round, so I've not looked at any videos, but I'm sure you'll have all been busy in your gardens. It was a decent weekend. We were on the north, in North Yorkshire, but sort of like on the east coast, so sunny but a little bit nippy. Right, this one in here. What's that? Perfect. So we'll go here, 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 and there. That's brilliant. All I'll do now is give them a watering and they should grow away. If I've got any spare onions or anything like that, I'll just fill that gap with the onions. Right, on to the next thing. So the next things that's going to go in are my potatoes. And I've got 3 varieties. They are main crop, Desiree, Kestrel and Cara. So I've got 7 rows here, and what I'm going to do is do 2 rows of each, and it'll leave me with 1 row spare. Whatever spares I've got, I'll just mark it up as a mixed row. So I can get those in comfortable in the fact that I know our last frost is probably in the next couple of weeks. So these shouldn't have shown any sort of growth above the surface. Obviously if they do, I either cover them over or I'll put some fleece on them. So let's get cracking and get these in. So I'll start off with the Cara, and I'll put them in about a foot apart. One. Plenty of room to spread those shoots and not to compete with each other. There we go. These are quite small potatoes, but that shouldn't make a difference. They should still go well. There we go. So that's Charlotte in the bags, Cara first 2 rows, Desiree second 2 rows, Kestrel third 2 rows, and the final row at the back is just a mixture of whatever I had left over. And Charlotte's, did I mention Charlotte? Charlotte's in the bags. Anyway, that's great. That's one job off my mind. All I've got to do now is make sure that I keep an eye on the weather forecast, keep an eye for those first shoots coming through, just to ensure that they don't get frosted, because if they do, your potatoes are up the spout. Before I go up to the top end of the plot, I'll show you some wood that I managed to get hold of. I have got 12 of these boards, and they are pitch pine, lovely stuff. They're only stapled on, so they'll be easy to strip apart, and each one has got 2, 4, 6, 7 lats on, 10 lats altogether for each one. So I've got 120 lats there, and what I'm going to use those for is the sun shelter ceiling. I think that'll look really, really nice. So I'm going to get those stripped down at one point. The person who sorted those for me knows who he is. Thank you very much, mate. It's much appreciated. Right, I'll get up into the greenhouse. So as I mentioned, I've got quite a lot of potting on to do. So I'm going to set about that now. The first thing I'm going to put on is going to be my fennel, my favourite. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them into these cell trays, decent size. And what I'll do is I'll create a plug plant. And then it'll go out of here once it gets to a size into a similar size pot to that. And it'll stay in there until it's ready to go out in the garden here and the garden at home. So there's quite a few here, but as you know, I do like my fennel. Right. Yeah, it's been lovely this morning. I don't know what the forecast is for the rest of the day, but it's quite good. Yeah, we had a fantastic time away. One downside, as I've told you before, my daughter lives in Glaisdale, and they've got North Yorkshire Moors Railway, steam railway there, and you can go all the way from Pickering right the way into Whitby, and the idea was that I think it takes about an hour and 50 minutes on the train, and the idea was on the Sunday that's what we're going to do. So I got the tickets, got all sorted, got down to the railway station only to be told that there'd been a Morse fire and the steam train was only going to be running to Levisham, which was sort of like 20 minutes up the way. So I had to get a refund and make other plans. So we're hoping to go back in June to go on the train to Whitby. It was going to be quite busy in Whitby, so it might have been a bit of a blessing in disguise because they have like a goth weekend, and that had fallen on the weekend we were away. So we're going to go, as I say, in June, and also we're going to visit the wall garden at Helmsley that you saw, because there wasn't much planted, but I imagine in June it'll be a picture, so we're going to do that. But it's a lovely place, as I've said, very well worth a visit. Where have I put my fennel? Here we go. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much on course with everything. I think everything that I need to be sowed is sowed. Here we go with my cabbages. I've got the brassica cages to make yet, but we're still a way off with these and the sprouts. So I've got a little bit of time, but I've got to chase my mate up for the roofing lats so I can crack on with that. But as I say, I've got a little bit of time. Right, let's start and prick these delicate little ones out. Well, this has just confirmed to me why I don't pot my onions on, because it's a right faff. Trying to get these thin little roots in. But there we go. That's one full tray of fennel. I'll stand that in the water outside, let it get soaked from the bottom up, and I'll put them on the bottom of the bench, underneath the bench, just for a little bit of protection. There we go. That's my little bit of fun sorted out. That's brought us to the end of this update. It's great to be back with you, great to be back on the plot. Just like to thank everybody for all the best wishes, as I said earlier in the video, for my wife and our anniversary, and thank everybody for following the channel and watching these videos. I really do appreciate it. If you're one of those that watches and hasn't subscribed yet, hit that button, mate. It'll be fantastic and I'd appreciate it. And there's also the notification bell, which will let you know when I've uploaded any other content. So for now, I'm Mal, known as the Veg Plot Man. Take care and happy growing.